ever dabbled in the Stardew community, you know that Clint sucks and everybody hates him. And this includes myself. For years, I have dogged on this guy for what I think are very valid reasons. And Concerned Ape decided to capitalize on this community opinion and make him dateable. Oh my Stardew father, for I have sinned, please reverse it, take it back. But it is kind of funny. This guy is just rage baiting his whole community. And it also did spark a lot of conversation around the game and obviously around Clint. So it got me thinking, what is wrong with Clint? It's been some time since I've delved back into the Clint lore, and I do get a lot of comments asking what all the hate is about. So it's time. Intro, body paragraph, and conclusion. I'm putting my English degree to use, and we will be analyzing the hell out of Clint's character, finding out what makes him so bad, or discovering a hidden beacon of light throughout the valley. But before we dive into the Clint lore, I have something very exciting I would like to announce. Are you looking for the most adorable plushie in the entire universe? Well, Lummi's got you. Introducing the Youtooz Lummi plush. Her hat is gorgeous, her eyes are staring straight into your soul, and she will make for the most perfect desk companion, bed decoration, and friend in all of the 7 seas. Look at that cute little face. Plus, she's equipped with the blessing of the moon that is detachable if you so desire. The Lummi plush will enter the villa on March 31st, so you have to mark your calendars or else. And remember, little Lummi's always got you. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Clint wants Emily. Like bad. Like, he wants her really bad. Much of his story and dialogue revolves around her. He's even got quests related to her. Simply, he's got a crush. And the pretty major point of contention about Clint is this crush he has on Emily, particularly about one of his heart events. But be patient, we're gonna cover some background first. If you don't know, Clint is the town's blacksmith, a title that has been passed down generations in his family. His dad was a blacksmith, his grandpa was a blacksmith. If he, by the grace of God, ever gets a chance to procreate, his kid would probably be a blacksmith. The furnace is the closest he'll ever get to the warmth of a woman's embrace. And like, his work is all he really knows and all he really does. He talks a lot about how all of his days are spent in his shop and how he kind of feels like this is it for him. Damn it. I'm too old to do anything exciting anymore. All I have to look forward to is years and years of sweaty, hot furnace work. Way too descriptive. I don't want to hear about your sweat, Clint. But there is something of importance to point out about this part of his character. Clint is going through the motions of life, feeling kind of stuck in his ways as a blacksmith, but remaining complacent. Plus, he's kind of just sad and hopeless, not finding joy in what he's doing. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, it should. Meet Harvey, a man who has dreams of becoming a pilot but settles for a simple life as a doctor in a small town, set in his ways. Meet Shane, a depressed man who struggles to find joy in his life, even after an intentional redemption arc. Clint, at his core, is a fusion of these two beloved characters, yet is very much not beloved. And there are a few unrelated circumstances as to why that is the case. I mean, come on. But there's one reason I don't think is ever really explored in discussions about Clint, and that's loneliness. The cold, empty abyss that slowly eats you alive the more and more you sink down and the more and more you slip away from it. Alright, I'm being dramatic. Clint is so extremely lonely, and one thing about Clint is, he's gonna make sure you know that. We're all at the beach, but I still feel so alone. Everyone is partnered up, and here I am, alone. I wore my special shoes today, but nobody noticed. Even Emily has some dialogue saying that Clint gets lonely in his shop all day, and that she kind of feels bad about it. And honestly, I think it's really sad that even in a close-knit community, Clint can't seem to find his place. It's true that virtually everyone in the valley has someone to lean on, whether it be family or friends. The only person that Clint does have is Emily, and as kind-hearted as she is, it honestly feels like she kind of pities him. Pity is the worst human emotion there is. I'd hate for someone to want to hang around me because they feel sorry for me. Ain't no way Clint even views it like that. He's just like, ooh, blue hair pretty mommy, goo goo gaga. However, I've got another point that also stands at like 7 feet tall. Clint seems to view loneliness through the lens of love. And what I mean by that is, he feels lonely because he is not in a relationship. I've had friends that could not pass the bestial test to save their lives. And let me tell you, it is slightly infuriating. I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend, wah, I'm so lonely. This type of talk can be slightly off-putting, and the obsession with love can even be creepy at times. And some might argue the way Clint announces his loneliness is a subtle way of asking to be pitied. It's kind of like, oh no, I'm so lonely. I hope a blue-haired crazy lady doesn't come and save me. But I get it. We've all been there. We've all had a crush and revolved our entire lives around them. I'm no stranger to checking Snapchat scores. However, at Clint's grown age, we're better than that, Clint. Pack it up. Now, if we were to take love out of the equation, then there's even more things to talk about. Like I said, Clint only views companionship as tangible in the romantic sense, so he doesn't even know that the emptiness he feels can be filled. Us, the farmer, work really hard to befriend him, gifting him a whole bunch, talking to him a ton, so we quickly become his closest friend in the valley. Yet, he's still talking about wanting a woman. We're trying to be a friend here, Clint. And not to mention, he tries to pull a fast one on the female farmer if you take him to the movies. Not happening. I will cut off his fingers. But now, apart from the farmer and Emily, what exactly is stopping him from making other friends? Well, like we said earlier, he's just a pretty awkward guy. When you have high hearts with him, he mentions trying to find a girlfriend online, and we apparently look at him funny since he says, "What? Not everyone's a cool, attractive, socially adept farmer," which, thank you. But this is important. He notes that he's not very socially adept. He definitely has a lot of anxiety, and honestly, a lot of people have told me they think he displays qualities of a person with autism because of the difficulties he faces with social interaction. And they also identify with him because of this, which I love hearing about how people identify with their favorite characters. I find it to be a really interesting conversation, especially when there's things that I haven't considered being brought up. I think there's also a very likely possibility here that Concerned Ape is fully in on the joke. He created a character that both has these anxieties and social difficulties, and is meant to parody quite the jarring character. Like, there's some really deep dialogue that explores his childhood and the way he feels in life. And then he forgets to clip his toenails. Concerned Ape is really good at that balance when writing these stories, so I feel like all of these interpretations about Clint are true. Some people have a resonant experience when getting to know Clint, and some people are more in tune with the joke. At the end of the day, this is the reason why Clint's reputation is either black or white, good or bad. Concerned Ape cooked both sides into him. And like, look at him giggling and shit when he announced Clint as the Bachelor. He knows people don't like this guy, so it kind of makes me feel like he did a bunch of things on purpose to make Clint a little less likable. I mean, come on. With all that being said, we can finally move on to the section that I will be titling the Emily Saga. Let's roll the clips. Hello, Lummi. Care to join me? Let me just go ahead and tell you what's on my mind. I have terrible luck with women, Lummi. I'm a nice guy if you get to know me, I swear. You're a girl, Lummi. What advice can you give me? Hi, Clint. What can I get for you tonight? Yes, I mean, I'll have the big and cheesy with extra sauce, please. Emily? I was wondering. Yes, Clint? Never mind. I'm doomed. So in this first heart event, he is terrified of interacting with Emily to the point where he's asking us for advice on how he should speak to women. I mean, understandably so. We have the ability to make literally every single dateable character fall in love with us, so who else would you ask for pointers? Just that farmer aura. But anyways, Clint's scared, and I think it's nice that he does ask for advice instead of being all creepy, hello princess. And yeah, his behavior gives a little Discord mod. Yeah, he's a bit awkward, but the effort to learn how to socialize with women, especially those that he likes, should count more in this instance. This leads us to the infamous bush scene, so let's roll that clip. Lummi, you caught me. I was planning to ask Emily on a date. I was at her doorstep and everything, but then I heard her coming and I dove into this bush. Now I'm waiting until she's done talking with Caroline so I can sneak back into my house. What did you just say? You'll never upgrade your tools again if I don't ask her out? You're a villain, Lummi. Alright, I'll do it. Emily? Sorry, Caroline. Could you excuse me for a minute? Yes, Clint? I was wondering if you'd go with tomorrow me. I've got 2 tickets for the Grampleton Carnival tomorrow. Would you go with me? Sure, Clint. That sounds fun. Really? Okay. I'll pick you up at 5. Okay, see you tomorrow. Did you see that? I've got a date tomorrow night. Oh man, I'm so nervous. So, the widely accepted perception of this heart event is that Clint was fully stalking Emily. He says that it was because he got nervous and hid to wait until Emily finished her conversation. But why does he have to be in the bush? Why does he have to hide to begin with? I could never imagine watching someone through some greenery until they're available to speak. It's creepy and weird and should never be the— Wait a minute. Yeah, the farmer is entirely guilty of doing the exact same thing on multiple occasions, even more so than Clint, and nobody talks about it. We are the nosiest people on planet Earth, always all up in everybody's business, always hiding around corners, waiting for the opportunity to strike. And not to mention all of you Sebastian lovers that wait outside of his door for him to leave that cave of his. And we're always digging in the trash. We know some very specific information about every single villager in the valley. Oh, and if you catch us at the wrong time, you might find a shadow man in our house. And no one's allowed in my basement. That might just be me. We are Clint. Hold on. No, we're not. You might be, but not me. The same thing Clint is crucified for is the same thing that the farmer is renowned for doing. So why is it okay for us to stalk and not okay for Clint to stalk? At the very least, Clint had some semblance of an explanation. We never do. Exhibit A, in the Marnie and Lewis heart event, we're asked what the hell we're doing behind Lewis's house. And then we just scream and run away. Like, we don't even answer. We're just caught in action and we just run away. If we ignore the qualities of the actual human person playing the game, the farmer has their own distinct qualities. The farmer does not have that social anxiety excuse. Clint's nervous, and to our knowledge, this is his only offense. But then, we gotta be fair to the adverse of this. We, as humans, at least most of us are human, only engage in specific behaviors because we are playing a game. Maybe some of y'all are stalkers IRL, I don't know. But again, most of us are not, and are only doing things because they're a gameplay mechanic. You stand in front of Sebastian's room because bro does not leave his damn house until later on in the day and you want to romance him. You dig through the trash for some energy for the mines or a fancy little hat. I've seen dumpster diving videos, and it's cool what some people find. But a lot of us aren't stealing from residential trash cans. Clint is an organic character that is predisposed. He is not influenced by a player. So maybe in that context, it makes sense why people would think that he's stalking and find nothing wrong with us engaging in those behaviors, but Clint doing it is a different story. However, that brings up the final argument. Is this stalking? Is Clint hiding in a bush to watch this lady? Well, for one, Clint has 2 tickets to the Grambleton Fair all ready to go, so him planning to ask out Emily checks out. 2, we gotta keep in mind that this is something Clint struggles with and he's ducked out before. In that first heart event, he attempts to ask her out and then shuts down. So this time he attempts to ask her out and then shuts down in a bush. Checks out. Y'all ever do something you have zero explanation for in a moment of anxiety or nervousness? I remember this so vividly. I was taking my senior pictures in high school, and I always got so anxious with those damn school pictures. I don't like pictures of myself, never mind in front of a crowd of people. And there was one person putting the cape thingy on us, and then there was the photographer. After my picture, I went up to the photographer to take the cape thingy off of me, instead of the lady that had all of the capes next to her, which she also put the cape on me. And the photographer was like, "Oh no, go to that lady and she'll take it off." And I actually stayed there in front of the photographer waiting for way too long. I don't know, it was stupid and I was just really anxious. Clint jumped in the bush, waited way too long. Maybe because he was anxious and just wanted to make himself as small as possible. Is it weird that he was waiting for her conversation to be over in the bush so that he can sneak away? Maybe. Does it make sense with Clint context? Kinda. Breaking news. Lummi admits that she understands Clint. The moral of the story here is, Clint is a nuanced character that I feel exhibits most, if not all, of the qualities that this community ascribes to him. He is both anxiety-ridden, socially awkward, with interesting emotional depth if you're willing to take a look into his past, and a creepy little guy that laments 24/7. Concerned Ape both plays into the joke, and ensures that his characters have a story to follow and have a story to analyze and truly think about. I, Lummi Lumith Leviathan Laundry Basket III, proclaim that I was wrong about Clint. He's not a stalker, he just sucks.